Guys, I just almost started it. Listen to this thing. I think that's good. No, it's not the case. If I don't fix that, I'm gonna call it a major issue. Watch this, I'm putting in gear, guys. Watch this. Going in gear. So before we get into the video, I want to add some context to it. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I did a rear main seal, a very detailed video that I posted on YouTube, and it's doing well. You guys can see this is the small clip from it. I removed this clip in particular because you guys can see the Flexplate has a couple cracks in it that I overlooked because I was so focused on doing the rear main seal job flawlessly that I overlooked it, and it was right there in my face for me to replace that flywheel when I had it down. And I don't have any regrets because I got 4 amazing videos from this and they'll be on the channel shortly as far as the components that I replaced on the engine. But I'm showing this because I did overlook it, and I've been working on cars since I was 10 years old, and we all make mistakes, but there's no excuse for me overlooking that. And like I said, I don't have any regrets. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. And by the way, I want to note that I did get over a year, just a tad bit over a year before it started making noises. Look at this. Look how loose it is. I paused it here because I want to note that noise you heard when the vehicle was running coming from the Flexplate, it's the metal or that fracture flexing back on itself, making a noise similar to you snapping your fingers to make them pop, but just at a rapid speed. So I just want to say that. That crack getting terrible. It's about to break in a minute. All right, let's look at the flywheel. Let's see how bad the damage was. You can see the crack. From the video, I can see it got worse. And there's also, if you flip on the other side, I mean, this thing was starting to go a little bit over a year later. So, lasted some time. Whoever previously replaced that rear main seal on the truck, they damaged the bell housing on the trans. They also damaged this. That Flexplate appears to have been probably over torqued down to create that fracture like that. I just couldn't see, unless they dropped it when they removed it, I just couldn't see it fracturing on its own like that. Yeah, it was, look at that. This thing was clicking. So here's the new one. Let's open it. This is what they sent me. Some slight variations in holes, but this is the one for this. It'll fit. I'll have the link in the description box for this Flexplate. It's supposed to be a more durable Flexplate than the OEM one. As you can see, it has wheels on it. I didn't like that at first, but they say it's a more robust design, and it'll take a little bit more beating than the factory one. So I had no problem going with it. It slightly weighs more, and I'll show you guys all of that in a second when we compare it with the other ones, but everything lined up perfectly. And I think it's always important whenever you get a Flexplate, make sure those holes line up, especially the ones in the center. Make sure they line up and everything's the same. And also the torque converter bolts, you want to make sure they line up perfectly as well, and the teeth, that's very important. And I'll show you guys, we're going to put them on top of each other to show that all the teeth and all the holes line up as well. And we're going to do a weight comparison with all three flex plates, and I'll talk a little bit about this one. Okay, all the holes line up. This one does as well, but I'll show you guys the difference in that one. Check our teeth. They all are aligned perfectly. So first and foremost, I'm gonna show you guys how these teeth align with the other. It's the exact same teeth as those. All the holes line up the same, even though I don't have them there. Okay, because this is, I got this different. You guys can see this. So I gotta flip it over. All the holes line up, and I'll show you right now. Let's show you this. Pretty much get these holes are identical, and however, the difference. Let me show you guys the difference. Let's weigh this one up. About at 0. Let's make sure. Okay, calibrate it at 0. Just under 7 pounds, probably 6 pounds, 10 ounces for the heavy duty flywheel. Whereas this one is maybe 5 pounds, almost 12 ounces. As you can see, this one's maybe a couple ounces more than the OEM one, as they're claiming that it's a little bit more durable, a little bit more robust than the OEM one. So that's a good thing. We're gonna go back. It's not a massive weight difference that'll throw things off. Another thing I want to note also, I could tell that the flex plate was having issues because whenever I rev it up, when the vehicle was in idle, whenever the truck was in idle, you're gonna feel some vibration. You're gonna feel vibration. You're gonna feel it. So that's another telltale sign when you're hearing that noise, whether you're not sure if it's from the flex plate or the engine making noises. You rev that thing up in idle, you're gonna feel some vibration. You're gonna still feel a slight vibration. So I did want to note that. I ordered this flywheel maybe a couple months ago when I first was gonna initially do this job, and just not checking if they really sent me the wrong one. So I got in touch with them. They sent me the correct one. This specific flywheel is for the 2500 and 3500 HD series trucks, the diesel trucks, not for my application. So I do have it on standby. They let me have it. I'll put in my part stash in the event I need it in the near future. So let me install the new flywheel, and I'll be back and show you guys how it's running when I'm done. All right, guys, I'm about to start up in a second. Just gotta do the drive shaft. A lot of new components. It's almost done. New flywheel in. Everything is back in place. Everything except the drive shaft. That's it. Nothing else. Okay, everything is done with the exception of the wheel well covers and the wheels. Just did the shaft, and now all the more motion. Let's see what we got. All right. See what we get. Before I put the covers and stuff on, I want to check for leaks. Should be super quiet. Got to top it off with some transmission fluid. But here we go. Radio off. Let's no lights. That's a good sign. Make sure we got no leaks. Quiet. Cold start. Hadn't been started in a minute. We waited for a week for that flywheel to come. Great oil pressure. Of course, we're gonna be cold. Super quiet. Had an exhaust leak from that broken manifold bolts. We're gonna smoke some. I sprayed some WD-40, so nothing. Super quiet. As expected, super quiet now. We're not worried about the smoke. We got oils kind of everywhere. That's going to dissipate. This thing is running amazing. Running amazing. Most importantly, you always want to check for those transmission lines. When you push them in, you want to make sure they're already fully depressed inside that transmission and locked in with those clips. Otherwise, you'll be leaking like crazy. That's already, that's some water. Bone dry. I paused it here because I do want to say I'm dropping a video for the replacement of the driver's side manifold, exhaust manifold, and the passenger side. These had, on the driver's side, had 4 broken bolts. 3 of them was flush to the engine, and the back part, the hardest to get. I do a flawless job on showing you guys how to remove them and replace the manifolds, the exhaust manifold gaskets, the donut, the flange gaskets, all of that stuff in 2 videos. They're in their separate videos, so I do want to say check those out because that's a very common problem with these trucks. Those exhaust manifold bolts break. And this had a bad driver side motor mount, which probably was the culprit for some of those bolts breaking. So that's also on the channel, that motor mount replacement. So another thing, you want to make sure you don't got no lights on. Those sensors are going to register pretty quickly if they're unplugged or anything. And nothing. You'll see the lights on because the front windshield is tinted, so it always the light's going to come on from that sensor. So turn those off. No, nothing. Just look at that, hovering beautifully. That's what we like. Still cold. When this thing warm up, it's gonna be even quieter when it idle down some. All right. Hope you found this video helpful. Hope this helps in any of your case. If you're thinking you may have a bad flywheel or there's a knock in the engine, hopefully this helps. All right. Thanks for watching. Terrence, I'm out.